Hi there, fellow warriors. How are you? Thank you for coming back to this channel. I'm so glad that you did. Megan here, the faithful fibromyalgia warrior. Um, so I just thought about something today from just a few minutes ago, and it just made me think about my own life. And basically, what it is for those of you who've not seen him in my other videos, my husband and I, we have two dogs. We have a greyhound who's a rescue. Well, not a rescue. He was rehomed. Um, he got injured in a race, and so he got retired. His name is Billy, and he is 3, and he's lovely. And also, um, we have a spaniel named Bertie that we've had now for 2.5 years. And Bertie has these little rubber balls. They're about the size, about like this, about the size of a golf ball. And he's got 3 of them on the go. Okay. And he's usually got one in his mouth, but then he'll want you to throw one by his feet. Or he'll go chase the one in the back garden, even though he's got one right beside him inside. And as I was putting away some laundry just a little while ago, he was laying on the floor with his nose kind of pointed at the dresser just below a set of dresser drawers that my husband uses. And I thought, why is he doing that? Because there's one of his rubber balls is literally right beside his paw. So why is he on the floor, fixating, whining? And when I went to look, it's because he had another rubber ball that was under the dresser drawers. And of course, instead of going after the ball that was right beside him, he laid there and he whined and he whimpered and he was fixated on the one that was trapped underneath the dresser drawers that he couldn't get to. And I got down on the floor, got behind the dresser, got the ball out for him, and he was happy as can be. And I just thought, how crazy is that? Here he has another ball that he loves right beside him, but he's fixated on the one he can't reach. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I do that myself. I can get so fixated on the future I think is supposed to happen or that I want to happen that I don't look and see life as it is right now that I can enjoy. And so for me, you know what? I still often need my electric wheelchair if I'm going into town. If my husband and I are, like today, we went to the bottom of the high street, or the main drag, if you will. It's this great place we like to go to sometimes for their breakfast called Roxy's. And yes, they do a full English, but they actually, what's even better is they have a build your own breakfast, which actually works out really well. So today I had 2 Turkish sausages, which I'd never tried before. Basically, instead of using pork to make sausage, they use beef. So, which I thought, oh, heck yes. I love my red beef. Please and thank you. And it was amazing. It was so good. 2 of them was more than enough, because they were a bit rich compared to sausages made out of pork, which makes sense because red meats got higher saturated fat content than pork does. So, that makes perfect sense. But they don't use fillers or anything like that. Anyways, I had 2 grilled Turkish sausages, which were kind of like frankfurters made with beef. Really yummy. 2 fried eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, and a coffee. And it was amazing. And my husband had his breakfast, and it was great. We spent some time. We chatted. He went to go meet up with a friend of his for coffee that he hasn't seen in a couple months, just work and life schedules and all that. But I realized that a lot of my time I've been so busy fixating on all the things I have not yet attained, and that I haven't stopped to enjoy the things I had right in front of me. So, for example, yes, I'm going to be going for my level 5 certification diploma in nutrition. And I'm excited. Now I've completed all the theory work for the level 3 part of the course. I'll have my case study completed in the next week or two and submitted, and waiting for that to be assessed. And then moving on to start the level 4 work and level 5 work. Well, level 4, I would imagine in September. But I was so set on having everything finished as quickly as is humanly possible, forcing things into my timetable, that I stopped to just enjoy the fact it's summer, the sun's out today. I don't have to spend every waking moment doing coursework and review and assessment. And learning is great, and learning all kinds of good information about nutrition, about why the carnivore diet is so good, how it's helped me, why it works. But not just that, finding ways to just appreciate God's presence in my life. Again, I'm here, I'm alive. Maybe I still need to use my power chair to get around for longer distances, but I can do short walks around. I've been able to do some cleaning around our bungalow. I've been able to do vacuuming and some mopping and laundry, which doesn't sound like much, but for somebody who couldn't do anything at all for 6 years, 6.5 years, really, it's pretty phenomenal. And instead of being dissatisfied with life as it is and longing for life as I think it should be or as I expect it to turn out, I'm really stepping back and really trying to just enjoy every moment of the day as it comes. And I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be what anyone else is. I don't have to achieve what anybody else does. And it's crazy. I know that intellectually, but to step back and really understand that spiritually and emotionally, wow, that was so eye-opening for me. And I'm so grateful that I am starting to realize this truth, that, God, time with God is however I want to make it. It does not have to be Bible study, prayer, songs and worship in that order every single day, because then it just becomes religious routine. And I did that for 10 years. And it didn't help me in my dark times. And in fact, I came to resent it. And I did none of that at all for the next 17 years. So I'm trying to figure out balance from the one extreme to the other. And I'm understanding too that, just because something may not work for me doesn't mean it doesn't work for somebody else. And just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for that other person exactly the same way. But what I do know is that every day I'm feeling better and better, that a carnivore lifestyle has absolutely made the difference, that, keeping my carbohydrates to as little as possible. I'm talking maybe 2% of my daily intake, if that, because I don't have cappuccino every day. And if I don't have a cappuccino, I do not consume milk at all, because I have lactose issues. And just realizing that I can choose to eat cheese if I like, but I also know it tends to cause my rosacea to flare up, and it tends to cause my IBS to flare up. So if I'm willing to put up with those discomforts, fine. But overall, I don't want to. So I try to stay away from that stuff as much as I can, but not because it's like evil or, I'm punished for it, but simply because my body is very sensitive and does not tolerate lactose at all. Does not tolerate it well at all. And so for me, that doesn't work. But it might work for somebody else, and that's okay. And I'm just really trying to step back and let go of my anxiety, which is really hard for me to do. If you struggle with anxiety, and there's a difference between being worried about something and being an anxious person. And what I've had to accept and admit to myself is that when I'm anxious, it's because I feel out of control and I'm trying to control everything. And meanwhile, the reality is God has control. We don't. And God is in control to the extent of the free will of human beings. You know, He's in control, but He allows each of us to have our own free will. And so is it His will that bad things happen? Of course not. But is it His will that we all choose how we want to live and what choices we make? Yes. And that means sometimes somebody else's free will and choice of free will, or choice from free will affect us negatively. And that means that in spite of that, God will still be able to work and turn that into something positive. That's how I understand it. That's what I believe. It's not because God wants bad things to happen to us, but He decided at the very beginning of creating us that we would have free will. And as much as it pains Him to watch us make mistakes and hurt each other and act cruelly and do horrible things to each other as humans, He agreed to let us make those choices. And unfortunately, that's what we do sometimes with those choices. But my point being more that what works well for one person doesn't always work well for someone else. And that's okay. I guess I really wanted to just make this video quick. I know it seems like it's random and rambling a bit. Apologies for that. I just wanted to sort of share with you guys what I'm feeling, what I'm trying to pray through and wrap my heart around and my mind around these days, to not always have to feel like I've got to be perfect and polished and I've got to have all the things I've learned and why it's great and all these things, because that's not always how I feel. Sometimes I feel kind of random and rambly and not quite sure where things are headed. And I just want to share that with you guys because I want you to know me, all of me, not just when I'm feeling focused and connected and close to God, but those times where I've been struggling or I have something I'm trying to work through with my faith. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So I hope it's somehow that this might be of encouragement to you or helpful in some way. I'm thankful if you've watched this all the way to the end. Thank you for that. Feel free to share it with anybody that you think it could encourage or help in some way. And I will definitely continue to make videos. And like I say, my whole thing now is trying to share with you where I'm at in life, to be real and honest and forthright and truthful. I don't want anyone thinking that that's it. I never have anxiety anymore, ever. I'm off of my medications, great, so I never struggle. That's not true. It's just I'm learning better ways to cope and to manage those feelings and those emotions than I used to. And who knows, maybe a day will come where maybe someday I will have to take medication for my anxiety. I hope not. Just because I don't like the feeling of relying on something chemical if I don't have to. If that's what someone needs, then awesome. Good for them. And if that helps them, then that's the whole point, in which case, fantastic. I am hoping that by sharing these real moments of my life with you, that it will help you guys, but also help remind me that I'm not there on my own. Even those times where it feels like it's only me struggling through this, I know that's not true. And even if it feels as though maybe God's not close, he always is. He's always close. Even if for whatever reason it may not always feel like that to me, but that is the truth. And he is always close by, even if we don't always feel like it. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's been encouraging. Not really sure what the next video is going to be like. I don't like to be too prescribed or pre-formatted, other than to say I will have some more content again soon. I expect to have something for you guys before the long weekend, which is next weekend is our bank holiday weekend / Labor Day weekend, I believe, back in Canada and the States. So I should have something else uploaded for you guys by then. But I hope you're all doing well. Even if the weather's not great, I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you're encouraged. I hope you're feeling faithful. And if not, so be it. That's where you're at. That's okay. That's cool. I hope you find ways to get there. Maybe this will help. I don't know. That's my hope anyhow. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and for watching. And excuse me. And again, I hope this is helpful. I plan to have more content available soon. I'll keep you guys posted as to how the case study finishes and how school goes and all that. But mostly I just want to say thank you. I love your support. It means everything to me. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video, which will be soon. Bye for now.